She mentioned, "If my pal's harsh quips bother you, feel free to settle your share and head out." I replied, "Appreciate the choice." Then I rose, grabbed my truck keys, and exited the eatery. She figured I was kidding until her buddies' chuckles faded as they saw I'd only covered my own plate. I, 29 guy, just stepped away from what was meant to be a festive supper, and I'm parked in my vehicle sorting through the events. My partner Vanessa, 28, together for 3 years, handed me an ideal exit, and I seized it. Brief history. Vanessa and I started dating after crossing paths at a pal's apartment warming. She was witty, driven, handled marketing coordination. We connected right away, shared a place after 18 months. Things were largely solid, save for one issue, her circle of friends. Her main crew includes 3 ladies from university days: Meredith, 29F, Jasmine, 28F, and Bianca, 27F. They're overwhelming. They've always been a handful, but recently they've intensified. They toss these barbs at me non-stop. Began lightly, remarks on my career. I'm an electrician, my pastimes, I refurbish classic bikes, my outfits. I ignored it at first since Vanessa would chuckle with them, but assure me later she didn't agree. Tonight marked Vanessa's job advancement party. She advanced to lead marketing coordinator. I was truly thrilled. Proposed we head to this upscale grill spot in the city center, my bill for the group, aimed to make it memorable for her. It kicked off well, beverages, starters, all conversing. Then Meredith kicked in. "So Jake, still tinkering with cables for work? Must be easy with such a basic gig. Not a lot of brain power needed, huh?" I grinned. "In fact, wiring tasks demand plenty of troubleshooting and—" "Oh, come on," Jasmine interrupted. "It's not like it requires a diploma. Van here's dominating in the business world while you're—" "What's that activity with the cycles?" "I rebuild old-school motorcycles. Just wrapped up a 1978 Honda. How much cash do you squander on those junk heaps?" Bianca chuckled. "Vanessa, sweetie, you could aim way higher. Recall Thomas from the seminar? Now that guy had drive." I glanced at Vanessa. She was grinning, tilting her head like, "Oh, you all." Not sticking up for me. Not in the slightest. The jabs kept coming during the meal. From my oily mechanic pursuits to how I likely couldn't grasp Vanessa's intricate promo plans, to Meredith straight up claiming I was fortunate Vanessa agreed to settle lower. The breaking point arrived when Jasmine stated, "Seriously, Van, when will you level up? Jake's nice, but let's be real. You're management caliber and he's—" "Well," I placed my utensil down. "Vanessa," she exhaled. "Jake, they're simply messing around." "It doesn't seem like messing." "Oh my gosh, he's so touchy." Bianca giggled. "What, gonna weep because we bruised your ego?" I remained composed. "This makes me uneasy." That's when Vanessa uttered it. Stared right at me and declared, "Listen, if my buddy's mean quips upset you, feel free to settle and exit." The group fell silent briefly. Then Meredith began snickering. She actually voiced it. "Appreciate the choice," I said, rising. I reached for my billfold, calculated swiftly for my dish plus gratuity, and laid bills on the surface. "This handle's mine," Vanessa smirked. "Jake, take a seat. Don't overreact." I snatched my keys. "Savor your festive supper." The giggles erupted as I departed. I overheard Jasmine remark, "He'll return in 5. Bet on it." I stayed gone. Reached my truck and lingered there a bit. My phone began exploding roughly 10 minutes on. First Vanessa, hilarious. Return and cover the tab. Then Jake, this stops being amusing. Then are you for real? I headed home. More messages poured in. Evidently truth sank in when the waiter delivered the receipt. It neared $400 for the full group. They'd chosen pricey cuts, numerous mixed drinks, sweets, and I'd only dropped $60 for my plate and tip. Vanessa rang 15 times during my drive. I ignored. By the time I arrived at our condo lot, she'd dropped 3 voice messages rising from irritated to enraged. I'm entering now to gather some items. Unsure what's next, but I'm finished as the joke target. Update 1. Barely rested. Stayed at my mate Marcus's spot after picking up garments and essentials from the condo. The message barrage persisted overnight. Vanessa, I can't fathom you shamed me that way. My pals view you as lame. You ditched me with a $400 tab. This is mortifying. You must Venmo me immediately. Pick up your calls. Near 2 a.m., her crew chimed in. Meredith fired a lengthy rant on how I'm monetarily controlling for fooling them into believing I'd handle it. Jasmine labeled me a small-minded failure. Bianca dispatched a Venmo plea for $100 noting for mental distress. I blocked the quartet and attempted rest. This morning, roused by knocks at Marcus's entrance. It was Vanessa. Marcus, total champ, informed her I wasn't present. She doubted it. I know he's inside. His pickup's out front. Marcus? No sign of him? Perhaps he left it and rode share elsewhere? She lingered 20 minutes, switching between banging the door and dialing my blocked line. Finally, she departed, but not without shouting. This is immature, Jake. You can't flee your duties. My duties? I covered my food. That was my sole duty. Marcus brewed Java and we chatted. He's warned for months that Vanessa's pals were poisonous, and she fueled them. Dude, recall when they mocked your mom's speech at your birthday meal? Or when they called your siblings' nuptials adorable for a low-budget affair? You merit more. He's correct. I've justified it excessively. Around 10 a.m., received rings from unfamiliar digits. Eventually picked up one. It was Vanessa using her office line. Jake, we must converse. Fine, converse. Not via phone. Return home. I'm set. You're acting absurd. So your emotions got dinged. My pals were simply enjoying. You shamed me before all and saddled me with the tab. I covered my dish, Vanessa. You suggested I could settle and depart. I followed your advice. I didn't expect you'd really go. Who acts like that? Someone fed up with disrespect. She shifted approach. Darling, please. I'm regretful they overstepped. Return home and we'll discuss. Just, could you send funds for last night? I charged the entire to my card. No. You suggested the outing. To mark your advancement. Then your pals used the whole meal belittling me while you laughed. I'm not funding that ordeal. This is crazy. You can't simply... I ended the call. She resumed from other lines. I ceased picking up. But then an intriguing thing occurred. Received a message from an unknown digit. Hey, this is Bianca's partner Terrell. Just wanted to note I learned what went down and props to you, dude. They've trashed you for ages. Bianca shared the messages and, truthfully, you handled it right. They're gathered at Vanessa's now scheming some payback. Just figured you should know. Payback? For what? For not serving as their wallet? Planning to stay low at Marcus's a few more days as I plan ahead. The rental's under both names, but I cover most rent, of course. Need to address that shortly. What stings is Vanessa never once truly regretted her pal's actions, or admitted how wrong it was. It's entirely about the cash and her shame. Update 2. Well, the payback emerged. It's equally sad and maddening. First, some positive. Stopped by the condo while Vanessa was working to fetch more belongings. Spotted a notice on the entrance. Disturbance report from Monday evening. Evidently her planning meet with the bully squad grew loud enough for several neighbors to report. That's noted on our rental history. Wonderful. Inside, the spot was chaos. Wine containers scattered, takeout boxes on surfaces, my gaming console oddly absent. Located it stashed in her wardrobe later. But the true shocker? She'd rummaged my tool chest and offloaded various specialty wiring items on Facebook Marketplace. Discovered the ads via a shared acquaintance. My Klein current checker set $300, Fluke meter $400, and other units. All discounted for quick sales. I captured screens of all. Then I spotted more. She'd entered my workshop space. The 1978 Honda CB750 I've been fixing? She'd posted it on Craigslist. Fixer-upper. Requires effort. $2,000 or best offer. Quick sale needed. That cycle's valued at least $6 in present form. Likely $10 finished. And it's not hers to offload. I dialed the police non-urgent line. Detailed the scenario. They noted since we cohabit, it's tricky. But vending another's belongings sans consent is larceny. They advised recording all and submitting a report. As I photographed, received a message from my property owner. Jake, must discuss the rental. Vanessa phoned claiming you vacated the unit, and she seeks you removed from the agreement. Also got disturbance report. Please ring me. Contacted him right away. Mr. Chen's managed for 3 years. Solid man. Explain the matter. She claims you departed and won't cover rent further. I've been away 3 days due to a home issue. I'm not vacating anything. Actually, I'm in the unit currently. She implied you'd vanished for weeks. Listen, off record, I'd prefer retaining you as renter. You've always paid on time. No issues till now. If you wish to assume the rental alone, I'm amenable. What of her? She'd need to consent to removal. Or you'd both terminate the agreement. But Jake? That disturbance is trouble. One additional and I'll have cause for removal. Noted. After recording all, I relocated my cycle from the condo, stored it in Marcus's shed. Also took remaining precious tools not yet vended. Left joint purchases, claimed only pre-relationship mine. That night, Vanessa returned to see me placing the final carton in my pickup. What are you up to? Securing my possessions elsewhere since you're vending them sans approval. I required funds to cover that supper you abandoned. So you took my tools. It's not taking. We share a home. Yours is mine. That's not how laws function, Vanessa. She stood in her office attire, arms folded. Behind her, Meredith's vehicle approached, naturally. You're not truly ending us over one supper. It's not one supper. It's 3 years of your pals belittling me while you encouraged it. It's you directly suggesting I depart if displeased. It's you taking from me when I heeded your words. Meredith exited her auto. Perfect, the failure's present. Jake, you owe Vanessa $400. I continued loading my pickup. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You suggested the group dine, and I covered my part when instructed to exit, which I did. Meredith eyed Vanessa. I warned you he was overly prideful. Working-class men always have brittle self-worth. I chuckled. Genuinely chuckled. My self-worth's solid. My limits are simply defined now. Place the final carton. Shut the bed. Vanessa seized my sleeve. Jake, please. Let's converse. We are conversing. I'm stating I'm finished. I'll handle the rental this week. I recommend you locate a flatmate. Perhaps one of your pals since they're so accomplished and motivated. You're truly discarding 3 years? No, you discarded it. I'm merely declining to fund it longer. Drove off with them gazing. Felt like a burden vanished. That night she attempted from varied digits again. At last left a voice note. You're correct. Fine. My pals crossed lines. But you needn't be so harsh. Please return home. We can resolve this. I care for you. Too delayed. Insufficient. Final update for wrapping this absurd tale. After relocating my items, submitted police report for taken tools. With ad captures and my purchase proofs, it was direct. The officer stated they'd contact her. Met Mr. Chen on the rental. Vanessa declined removal, believing she held power. She missed I'd recorded all. Turns out vending pilfered items digitally creates a clear path. Also, 3 disturbance reports in 2 weeks. Yes, she continued hosting pals for backing. Breach rental rules on unapproved vending of co-tenants' items. And pestering other renters she'd hassled Marcus on my location. The owner has choices. Mr. Chen issued her a fix or vacate notice. She had 3 days to correct breaches or risk removal process. Abruptly, she keen on lease removal. But here's the exquisite part. Recall Terrell, Bianca's partner? He messaged again. Turns out he tired of Bianca's ways too. The last straw? She'd mocked him to Vanessa and crew, dubbing him trial partner till a superior. He ended it and vacated their joint spot that week. Then the collapses began. Sans Terrell covering half rent, Bianca couldn't manage her unit. She attempted crashing with Vanessa, but recall that fix or vacate. Unapproved residents would breach it. Jasmine's world crumbled when her partner viewed the messages she'd sent me seeking cash. He saw if she was this demanding with me, how with him? They're pausing now. Meredith, the leader, dropped her position. Not from this mess, but she'd used office time on networks slandering others, including colleagues. Management had sufficient. Sans employment, she couldn't sustain her habits. Meanwhile, I secured a solid single-bedroom unit nearer my job. Rent's lower, actually. Been concentrating on my cycle rebuild. Ought to finish by spring. Even landed extra wiring gigs paying nicely. Yesterday, received one final message from Vanessa. She's relocating to parents. The crew apparently fractured when funds tightened and they clashed. Bianca faulted Vanessa for wrecking all by pairing low. Jasmine blamed Meredith for poor impact. Meredith called them disloyal. I realize now their toxicity, her message read. I should have defended you. Regretful. Any shot we retry? I left unread. Nothing to add. Marcus aided my shift to new spot last weekend. As we hauled cartons, he noted something memorable. Dude, you didn't evade a shot. You escaped an entire barrage. He's accurate. Oh, and the top? I bumped into Terrell at a pub last week. We took brews, shared X-Tails, turns out much shared. Both trade workers paired with ladies who felt they compromised. Plan to meet again this weekend. Perhaps a cycle expo. Sometimes prime retribution isn't complex. Sometimes it's merely declining to fund or endure abuse. They demanded I cover? Well, they're covering now, just differently than anticipated. My mom rang yesterday, said I sounded joyful like never in years. She's correct, I am. Amusing how freer you sense when you cease hauling those who disregard you.